Hi, Instagram. So thank you guys for joining. Hi, Facebook. We're live. Remember, we're now live simultaneously through Facebook and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch us and see what we have going on. I want to welcome everybody. Today, we're going to be celebrating World Health Day. It's actually tomorrow, April 7th, but we're going to start the party a day early because we're cool like that. And today I have with me two amazing women. One I just met, Miss Kelly here. I actually met her through Instagram. You reached out to the show and she had some amazing things to say, and I fell in love with her story, so I brought her on. So Kelly is a certified health coach, and she'll be telling us a little bit about herself. And Amy and I go way back. Amy was one of the big influences in me trying to get pregnant. I started working out with you, I think, in 2012. And she was my personal trainer for years until I reached my goal of becoming a mom and having my body nice and healthy for conception. So this is Amy. She's a personal trainer, and she's now doing online training as well. So do you ladies want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure.
Start?
Sure. My name is Kelly. I'm a wife, a mom of two. I'm a stroke survivor and certified health coach and CrossFit coach. So it's a mouthful. So my story, my journey since my stroke, it's a pre-stroke, was very, very unhealthy, and I was trying to always be healthy. I don't know how much we want to get into it, but I basically now love to help people in wellness.
Awesome.
Their families get healthier as a whole, because it's hard to just do it on your own.
Absolutely.
So yes, wellness is a passion of mine.
That's amazing. What about you, Amy? A little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, same here. I'm a wife, mom. I have a daughter and a son. I've been personal training for about 6 years, and you know, it's a passion of mine. Like she was saying, that's what I love to do. I love to help people, and
you look damn good doing that. Both of you. It's hard to see women sometimes being moms and still looking and feeling their best, but it's definitely achievable, and that's something that I notice in both of these women. Just because you're a mom doesn't mean you have to forget about yourself. And more than anything, I think today that's kind of what I want to exude. Self-care and why it's so important. I know for myself, after the baby, postpartum became an issue. I've talked about it many times on the show. I hope you guys are not tired of hearing it. But it's just the truth. It was something that broke me down to a point that I had never been down to that level. But if it wasn't for the self-care, and if it wasn't for that feeling of wanting to better yourself as a person, I honestly don't know what would happen or where I would be. But it's not easy. But if you go out there, like for myself, meeting you online and now meeting you in person, it's such an eye-opening experience to see that a bad day, a bad few months, the postpartum is so insignificant when you met someone that's actually a survivor, that has fought for their life and has come out of it. And I hope that today this show helps motivate you as a mother, as a father, as a daughter, of wanting to take care of yourself a little bit more so that you can be here that much longer. What does fitness, health, and self-care mean to you?
Well, it's, like I said, it's very important, and in my opinion, it's you got to have all three. You got to have your nutrition, your exercise, your stress relieving. Just take care of yourself mentally, internally, physically.
I remember you used to tell me it's 80% what you eat when I used to work out. 80% what you eat and 20% what you do in the gym. And I would always struggle with that because I've always been someone that doesn't have a big appetite. So I'm the opposite. She would have to remind me, have you ate today? Have you had your meal? Like, when was the last time you ate? If it's been more than 3 hours, you might want to put something in your stomach. And I'm just like, leave me alone. But she was the reason I was able to reach my goal weight. And I've kept in contact with you for the entire process. And I'm just like, I'm ready to go back. And I told you in the beginning of the year, that's when I started my journey back to healthy with Pure Gourmet Meals. Which, shameless plug, we have a post up on House of Alice Rose if you want to check it out in the blog. But what does it mean to you? What does health, fitness, what does wellness mean to you internally?
So internally, for me, and what I like to try to tell people is that you can be in the gym and lift weights or run and do everything you can, but if you don't have your mind right, if you're not feeding your body whole nutritious foods, and you're kind of just, like for me, before my stroke, I was 70 pounds heavier. I was always on a weight loss program, whether it was, I don't even want to name them, but just the normal ones, right? Like
those quick fixes that really don't fix anything.
Right, and like for me, it was, I would follow these directions and I ate this stuff out of the box, and like, why am I not losing weight? And my stress level was very high at the time of my stroke. I was 32 years old when I had my stroke, and it was almost 8 years ago. I had a toddler at the time. I was a very busy, fast-paced career that just was like rolling too fast for my comfort. So at that point, I didn't know really what wellness meant. Like, I just thought it was trying to run, all you could, or trying to eat out of a box and stay under a certain calorie amount. It was just very confusing. So since then, I think that wellness overall is just your general state of well-being. Like, your mind needs to be healthy and whole, and to do that is the food, the exercise.
And I think sometimes, I don't know if you agree, I think sometimes we forget to take care of this.
Yes.
If this is not okay, how is the rest of you going to function?
Right.
How your brain, your head, your mind tells your body what to do. And if you're not okay up here, which I discovered this going through the postpartum, nothing else is going to work, and nothing else really matters. You could be eating the most organic, fresh fruit. You could have the most amazing garden in your backyard. But if you're having issues with your self-care as far as your mentality goes, your emotional and your stress goes, it's almost like you're crossing everything else out. So do me a favor and turn this on for me, please. I forgot to ask you. But yeah, I love that you're mentioning that. How was your recovery after the stroke? Because I know whenever you reached out to me, she told me a little bit about her story, and I was just so intrigued. And I've known a couple stroke survivors, but I've never had the guts to ask how it goes and what happens and how you went about coming back to you. And do you feel like you're 100% Kelly again?
Right. So, so my stroke was there's different types of strokes, and without getting too technical, it was basically a tear in my artery. So it wasn't a clot blown, so it was spontaneous, and they didn't know why it happened. So it was about a week in the ICU, and things go through your head that are kind of like, I was 32 and I was in the hospital bed, looked over at my husband, and I was like, you need to go on LegalZoom or somewhere and get a will. Like, we didn't have a will. And that's something we don't really think about, right? Like,
no, especially when you're
in our younger,
in your 30s.
Yeah. So, and the look on his face was just like, oh man, right? So, so it took, I was on some blood thinners, some minor issues with left side of the body, not paralysis, just muscle fatigue, muscle strength. And so about a year's worth of medication, horrible medication, but it saved my life. I finally kind of, I don't even know how it happened or why, but the tear healed. So there was like no lesion, no nothing. It just was done. Like it didn't even happen. So at that point, my doctor said, okay, I need you to give me 5 minutes on the treadmill. Like I said, I was 70 pounds heavier. The thought of getting on a treadmill was like torture. But I got on the treadmill and I came out of the bedroom because it was in my bedroom holding clothes. It was not like used for a treadmill.
Holding clothes?
It was my clothes hanger. And I came out of the bedroom and I looked at my husband. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, people have cars. Like, why do people walk? This is horrible. And he just looked at me so plainly and said, you know what, if not for you, then for our son.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, fine, you know.
You're like, you're right.
Yeah, so the 5 minutes turned into walking faster and faster, got through the first 5K that I ever did.
Oh.
And it was horrible, but I finished and it was great. And then it turned into 6 half marathons now, and my love for fitness and lifting weights and CrossFit and helping people. So I don't even know what we were talking about, but what was it? My vision of wellness, or was it like the stroke, like
how
recovery?
You, yeah. And do you feel like you're 100% back?
Also, I actually feel like I am better than I was before my stroke, and I always say, especially on my blog, I say my stroke saved my life, because it really did. I was very stressed, a different type of stress. There's all different types of stresses you can have, right? And although you're grateful, there are still stresses. I was heavier. I was in a perpetual state of just morbid feeling of being like this 80-year-old woman. Creaks all the time, a fog over my face, like I just could not get through the day fast enough. And I just wanted to just lay down and when was my next chance to get under the covers, you know? And that's not right, like, you know. So yeah, I'm a different version of myself, and I'm thankful for my stroke, because it did change everything.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I see a couple comments up on the screen. I'm trying to get you guys. I'm trying to see your comments on here. I'm sorry if I'm not responding. The cameras are a little bit further than I'm used to, so I can't quite see. I'm trying to get to y'all. I'm not ignoring y'all. Bear with us, as today I'm actually working without my amazing assistant, Judith, who's usually behind the camera. But
You want me to play with it while you talk?
it's there. It's just a comment. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna roll on to y'all. I don't want to ignore y'all.
Roll on over.
Well, by the way, we are, if you can see around and you can see what's going on, we're actually in Amy's home gym. And this is actually also your workspace. This is where you do a lot of the personal training. Do you want to tell? I know. She has some amazing stuff. Do you want to tell anybody a little bit about your gym and how you went about starting it?
Well, as you know, I started in my garage. I mean, it was brutal, but I did that for probably 2 or 3 years. And, you know, then I moved here and tore down a wall. I have a gym now, and I'm indoors, and I have some AC.
That's amazing.
And it's not brutal anymore.
We're actually sitting in what used to be 2 of your bedrooms, right? Yeah, it used to be 2 of her bedrooms, and it's amazing. I'm gonna just sit, guys. This is literally, we're at the gym, we're in our gym clothes, so come hang out. But I remember whenever I started working out with you, we were in her previous home. It was a 2-car garage. She would open it up, and I don't know if you heard me, but I would curse her out under my breath so many times. Like,
Under your breath?
Oh. I used to whisper things to her. Oh my gosh, but it was so motivating to me. It was like, I never sweat, Amy. I'm not a sweater. Like, oh, I don't sweat. You're going to sweat today. That was so motivating. And I think more than anything, as women, I feel like we're amazingly strong. We can do anything. But I don't know, how do you ladies feel? I feel like in a pact, in a group, when we have a buddy, like that gym buddy, we have our foodie buddies, we have our going out buddies. Get yourself a gym buddy, because I would not have been able to have reached my goals if it wasn't for her pushing and for her moving.
Every single one of my clients, I started off training one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them have gone to buddy sessions, to where they train 2 to 3 people at a time, and
That's awesome.
that's how they prefer it.
Really?
Because it's it makes you a little more motivated. You try a little harder. It's kind of some friendly competition.
That's what I was gonna say. You said accountability. Immediately, I thought competition.
Yeah.
Because I remember trying to work out with my siblings. Whenever you would train me, then I would turn around and be like, "Can y'all do this? Because I can. How long can you hold your plank? Because I can do it this long." And I remember it became like a competition for them. And then, of course, I mean, I'm not where I used to be, but I'm also not where I used to be when I first started with her. So I'm somewhere in between post-baby, but not quite back to my healthiest. And it's okay. And I've given myself that break because I did go through that hard emergency C-section, because I did go through that hard recovery where I was, bedridden for like 12 weeks, because I did go through that postpartum depression. But that also cannot become an excuse, because like you said, that stroke was all the reasons of why you were unhealthy. And now you have to remember, and you have to keep going. You have to motivate yourself. Find yourself a gym buddy. Find yourself a trainer, a friend. If it's not a personal trainer, if it's a CrossFit coach. I know you do CrossFit too, right?
Yes, love it.
So get yourself into a situation where you know that if you don't show up and if you don't do what you're going to say, someone's going to hold you accountable. I know that was my motivation. It's like, there's nobody else at the gym except Amy and I. If I don't show up, she's gonna know. So I have to go. I have to do this. How do you help motivate all those CrossFitters when they come to you?
I think for me, the community aspect is great. The group fitness is wonderful. And the coaches are just really amazing in getting you the right moves and gauging how much you should lift weights, if at all. Everybody starts from the beginning, so PVC pipe gets really heavy, and that's okay, because it's all about technique with us. So I think that really just the camaraderie that is there, the accountability, I genuinely am so happy to see these people every day, and they become your family. You know if they're having a bad day, you really just brush it off. Let's lift some weights. Let's brush it off. Let's do some horrible burpees. Let's get through it. This is a blessing to be here for this hour. Let's make the most of it.
You know if they need a push or if they need relief.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I like that community aspect. It's just great to go in, have a task that's already set out there for you, kind of internally figure out, okay, I got to do this and this and this. You formulate in your mind what you need to do to get the job done. Music starts, clock's going, you get the work done, and then you finish, and then you're proud of yourself. And it's nice to be proud of yourself every day, or 3-4 days a week, or whatever. Like, it's hard in these days to feel accomplished, to have a task and get it done and feel proud of yourself. And so that's why I love it so much.
That's amazing. How do you find the encouragement to encourage other people when you're having a bad day, or when you yourself don't feel like working out?
It's my job, I guess. I just put on a smile, and they're here because they need me. So I can't, let them down. I can't.
That's strong.
Throw my own problems out there. Because a lot of people are here. Come to me, and it's not just about working out. People have got a lot of stuff going on.
You were my therapist for years. When I couldn't conceive, I remember working out, doing a burpee, and then crying, and she knew what was wrong, and my struggle with fertility and my mood swings when I was on those fertility medications, and she knew. But she also knew when to push me and when to stop. There was a couple times where she sent my ass home, and she would say, "You need a glass of wine, and you need to go with your husband." And you know what? And I would follow those directions because I knew she could see beyond just the weight and the issues and the working out. And that's what I mean when I say get yourself a workout buddy, because you become strong together, but you also can share the weaknesses with someone. And it doesn't feel as bad when you're going through something so difficult when you feel understood. Absolutely. Because I don't think I would have, many of those days, I would not have just gone up and gone to a gym, which there's nothing wrong with gyms. Some people are great, motivating themselves. I'm not saying that, but in my case, for that time, I would not have gone up and done anything if it was just me in a gym full of people that were strangers to me.
Yeah.
So I second that. Like, please get yourself someone. And if you don't have a gym buddy, if you don't have a workout routine, take your baby, take that stroller, go for a walk around your park. You know, go meet some new mommies. Play dates are definitely workouts. Now that I have a toddler, running around your toddler is working out.
Yes,
Carrying like a 40-50 pound chunky boy is a workout. You know, just the point of it all is get moving. And once you start moving, and I experienced that for myself, you start feeling so much better. You don't have to go to the gym for 3 hours. You know, you can run around with your son for 30 minutes in the backyard, and once that those endorphins start to kick in, it's all the motivation you need sometimes. But I do want to say hi. I see Fun to Go Mister. You're on our Instagram. Thank you for watching. As always, if you like what you're listening to, if you like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up, give us a share. You know, as many people that we can get our conversations across, the better. If you know someone that would appreciate this conversation, someone that needs a little motivation, someone that needs a little self-care in their life, tag them down below. Let them join the conversation. But let's keep on moving. I was going to ask you guys, how did you get started? Like, what initiated? I know you said it was about 6-7 years ago. What initiated you to go from what you were doing before to becoming a personal trainer?
Well, my main goal was to be home with my daughter. That was my main goal. I couldn't imagine sending her off to school and then I'm at work. What's she gonna do in the summer? So that's how it originally started. Although that was already my passion. I mean, I already worked out. You know, I was just very passionate about it. And my husband just was like, "Well, why don't you just become a trainer?" You know, I'm like, "Hello, good idea."
You're like, I thought about it all by myself.
Yeah,
I had this all figured out.
it was my husband's idea.
That's amazing. And what led you to do it from your home versus at a gym somewhere?
I didn't want to share the profits.
Smart.
Plus, I'm at home with my daughter. You know,
people come to you versus you having to go to them.
Yeah, I was able to, you know, be with her before she started school, and you know, I really enjoyed it.
That's amazing. What about you? I know the stroke had a lot to do with it, but how did you become someone that was into wellness and now is someone that's coaching other people?
Yes. So after the stroke and the year recovery and the depression, all that good stuff that you go through with that survivor's guilt and whatnot, after the doctor said get your butt moving, I naturally started to want to help people with their life because I struggled so hard with learning how to cook, for one. My husband always did the cooking before, and so all I knew how to cook was spaghetti. So it was a struggle for me to learn how to cook, to figure out what real food was, what whole foods were, what supplements, like I didn't know what a probiotic was. I went to a holistic doctor, and I really started to focus on, I would notice that I loved helping other people, and it brought such joy that I was not having in my prior career. My prior career was risk management and investigations, and so it was a totally different field, right? So in the back of my head, I always wanted to help people. I always, one day I'll, help people with CrossFit. 'Cause I fell in love with CrossFit after 5 years ago, and I wanted to help people with meal prepping because it was so hard for me to figure out what to feed my family. Not only just me for strict paleo or strict AIP or strict whatever. It was whole foods. If it was around 100 years ago, eat it, right? I didn't really understand that at the beginning, and so I started. I met some great friends, and one couple happened to have their own CrossFit affiliate already prepared to open in the future. I threw it out there that, maybe one day I could help you coach, be one of your part-time coaches, and he absolutely said no problem, and without flinching. And I'm still on my journey. Obviously, I'm not like stick thin, and that's cool. Like I have those Mexican genes in me that are sometimes rough. I look at tortillas and they just happen to
they just pop
right.
up.
They're just like boom, So I struggle with it still, but I know the right tools and I'm doing it. So I started coaching in Spring, Texas, right outside the Woodlands, and then with the wellness coach, I had an opportunity last summer to figure out if I wanted to step away from my career or not. We, by no fault of our babysitter who was watching our 3-year-old at the time, I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old or 10-year-old son now. I did not want to pay $2,000 for a daycare to watch my kids in the summer. So my husband and I talked, and he said, you know what, you've always wanted to do a wellness business, whatever it may be. Like I had all these different ideas, and I couldn't figure out like what do I want to do. I just want to help people. So we bit the bullet, and I got my went back to school and got my certified health coach license, and have lots of things in the works, and that's pretty much how it started. So it was blind. Like it was just like all of a sudden within 2 weeks I was up at 2 a.m. in the morning building my own website.
Wow.
And trying to figure out how to get it done, but that's how I rolled into the health coach and CrossFit coach.
That's amazing. It can literally take an idea like you, an idea from your husband, something that sparked, your kids. There's so many motivations out there. You just have to let it in, and you just have to go for it. If you stick around wondering what if, what could have, what should have, you're never gonna find out. And the worst that can happen is you fall on your face and you get up and you just keep going. I mean, one bad day does not mean a bad month or a bad year. One bad decision doesn't have to lead to a bad life. So if you can find inspiration in these women by starting, you not wanting to be away from your daughter and you being a survivor of a stroke, like you can do it. And it doesn't have to, you don't have to turn into a fitness model or a trainer like them, a coach, but just knowing that, especially like since we're mothers, just knowing that there's a little person waiting for you at the end of the day. There's a little person that's depending on you to put them through school and put them through college and make sure that you can see your kids walk down the aisle one day. Like that should be motivation enough for you to get up and keep going. But I'm having so much fun learning from you ladies. I hope you are too. And I wanted to ask you guys, for some of us, I'm not going to say who, that might not always like to spend 2 hours at the gym, what is your go-to move that you feel like you have 15 minutes, you have 30 minutes? Let me burn as many calories as I can. What do you go to?
Well,
Burpees. Yeah.
Show us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No.
I mean, it's full body, one move. You're working shoulders, abs, legs, and you're getting heart rate up.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody could actually do 20 or 30 minutes of just burpees, but that's one move that's really gonna.
I think a good 10 to 15 and your heart rate stays elevated for a while.
Yeah.
Especially because it's a lot of your own body weight, body movement. It's that you don't need anything. And that's another misconception, I think, that people are like, oh, I need all this expensive. No, just use your own weight. You're a lot heavier than you think.
Body weight exercises are some of the hardest.
Yeah.
Push-ups, pull-ups, jumping jacks, squats. I mean, those can be some of the hardest ones.
Mm-hmm. What about for you? What's your go-to move? What do you think? It's like I have 15 minutes before I have to pick up the kids. I just want to get a quick heart rate or cardio burn.
I love squats. I like to do like a little ditty that's the push-ups, like 10 push-ups, 10 squats, and some mountain climbers. Those will really get you going. So it engages your abs, your quads, your arms, everything. Gets your heart rate up. But if I had a choice, I would always say I want a deadlift. So, but you need a bar and some weights. So
she was saying she's a lifter. She's someone that loves to lift. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I love to lift. I don't know if I'm a lifter, but I love to lift.
Anytime you're lifting, you're a lifter.
That's true.
You're a lifter to me.
It's kind of like saying, I'm not a runner, but I run, but I jog. you know.
Yeah.
I'm so slow, but you know.
No. And that's the thing though, I feel like we should not be afraid of the labels or of like the ideas that people have. Like, not all runners are stick figure, like you said. Not all trainers are 100 pounds. Not all CrossFit people are like swole. You know, like it's not that. Healthy looks different on everybody.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Healthy looks different on, you know, like my sisters and I. We come from the same DNA. We come from the same blood. Healthy on me does not look like it does on my 20-something-year-old sister who's like a size 3 and I hate her. Like, no, but I mean, she's the healthiest she's been in a while. I'm the healthiest I've been since post-baby because I know up here I'm doing so much better. I know I'm making good choices. I'm still with the meal prepping, and it's what works for you. Don't allow the stigma or the comments or what is supposed to be perfectly packaged that you see on TV. Don't let that interfere with you and your healthy and your motivation and the reason why you want to do it. Your reasoning doesn't have to be your children. Your reasoning can be you. Your reasoning can be, you know, you're walking down the aisle in a couple months. Don't let any of that interfere with what you can be doing for yourself. If anything, if all you get out of this show today is self-care and you're like, hey, I haven't gotten a massage in a couple days, do it. You know, anything that will help you be happier and a healthier you is motivation. Like, do that. Do the massage. You know, go get your nails done. You know, go have some wine with your girlfriends and let loose and just rant. Like, whatever it is that's going to help you be a better, happier you, do it. In this case, being World Health Day, we just wanted to bring you some information, and we just wanted to share these beautiful ladies with you, and hopefully it'll motivate you and it'll keep you going. But I know I wanted to keep it short and sweet. These women are working hustlers, so they got to get back to training. They got to get back to babies. We have a doggy out there that's very sad she's not in front of the camera. So before we let you go, you know, we have to have our shameless plug. So go ahead, ladies. How can someone reach out to you? I know you do online coaching now. You help me with like fitness and like menus and stuff, and of course personal training. So how can someone get a hold of you?
Facebook, Instagram, Amy Lynn Fit, and you know, I offer, you know, meal plans, nutritional requirements, all workouts, you name it.
Do you still do the 8-week programs or no? You do?
Well, I'm currently doing a contest or a challenge right now, but you don't have to be in the challenge. You can still purchase the 8-week shred.
And you said on Facebook and Instagram is Amy Lynn Fit?
Instagram would be amylynn.fit.
Amy Lynn. So just look her up, Amy Lynn Fitness on Instagram and on Facebook. Do you still have a website? No, okay. It's all about social media now, ladies.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even have to invest in a website. Just have your friend share with their friend, and before you know it, you've gone viral. What about you? How can we get a hold of you with your wellness and your coaching if anybody is interested?
Yes, so I own Empowered Strides is my company, so it's kellyfuchek.com. And you can get a hold of me through Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook and Instagram is Empowered Strides, and Twitter is, what did I say? Facebook, yeah, Twitter is Kelly Fuchek. So I also have a website, like I said, kellyfuchek.com. You can reach out to me, email me. I do wellness workshops for corporations, small, big, you know, whatever, anywhere from an hour a session to like a big actual coaching session that's, you know, 6 weeks or whatnot. I do meal prep workshops for people in their kitchen or in my kitchen. So I really teach how to, for your own lifestyle, how to meal prep for the week, prepare. I give you all the containers, all that good stuff. So, and then the CrossFit is out in Spring. So if you're out in Spring looking for a CrossFit gym box, then reach out to TTR CrossFit. Wonderful place, and I think that's pretty much
Awesome.
it.
We didn't mention, Amy, you serve like the Deer Park, LaPorte, Pasadena area, right?
Right.
So if you're
for online,
anywhere,
but one-on-one personal training would be Deer Park, Pasadena, LaPorte.
Deer Park, Pasadena, LaPorte, Kima. I think Kima would still be a nice little drive out here. So, and it's beautiful. We're actually sitting in her gym studio right now, in her home gym. So it's amazing in here, and I love it. I want to go check out that CrossFit. I know Izzy is a big CrossFitter, and she's always like that. I've always been more of a one-on-one girl, but one of these days I'll surprise you.
Okay.
Kill me, Kelly.
You got it.
But once again, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you like what you're watching, if you like what you hear, give us that thumbs up and give us that share. We just love to have great conversations, and next time we're on the air, hopefully you'll join the conversation too. Thank you so much, ladies, for coming in. Amy and Kelly again. Amy Lynn Fit or Amy Lynn Fitness and Empowered Strides with Kelly. And if you have any questions or anything else, feel free to leave a comment down below, and they'll be checking the comments later and answering any of your burning questions. So thank you again for watching. And my shameless plug for today is just houseofalishRose.com. We got some new stuff on the website. We have that Pure Gourmet collaboration post, and we also have a nice sponsored post. It's called Fashion 101, checking out the graphic tees. So shout out to the Esperanza for that. And as always, thank you for watching. Life is short, guys. Live it up. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.